direction, and we're already past the halfway point of this 12-minute event. Back-to-back tests here for the teams on their opening day of competition at the 2021 Noble CrossFit Games. Like I said, is on the left of your screen. And 2 rows down for them, 2 lanes down, I should say. CrossFit 1855. They are now in second place. And 1855 looks like they're going to complete this drag unbroken.
So looking at this, I honestly would switch my pairing as opposed to having the women in the front, because what you're looking at is that who has the most immediate and direct action on the sled. It's the person in the front. You are closest to it, where the rope is at max tension. You want your strongest athletes to have the most action on the sled, and the further away you get from that as the length of the rope goes, the less action or force you are able to apply into that pull. So these teams in the heats 2, 3, and 4, this is not the setup to have maximum efficiency on the sled. It's men first, men in the front, right next to the sled, and then have your women aid on the back side of the pull.
CrossFit 1855, they are now back in the lead. Watch for the first time ever 2 CrossFit legends, Josh Bridges and Jacob Pepner, enter a trial by combat on September 18th for only $14.99 pay-per-view. Get your pay-per-view ticket now at coresports.world and use code CrossFit at checkout for 10% off.
There we go. Here's some people in the audience.
1855 still your leaders. Less than 4 minutes to go here. They are through 98 of the 173 total score repetitions. It's Eichstätt who sits in second place. Those 2 teams have been trading the lead back and forth, and Blue City CrossFit has spent the majority of this third event in third place. Man-made CrossFit, they were just returning from their second sled pull. As Eichstätt, Mighty Oaks, just 2 reps back of 1855.
Oxted still doing pretty big sets. There's a couple ways you do it. If you can handle the volume, great. The other is the time under tension with your pairs holding onto that sandbag. One of the ways to do small sets and very quick transitions. Now the risk there is that you start to rush out of your pace and then things get out of sync. But even that, taking a break, maybe staying up there, it could be a better gymnastics pair. The other pair might be the stronger athletes that can hold on to the bag longer.
Callum Beeble and Nadine Roos on the pull-up bar for Eichstätt. Back to 1855, the area leaders have like 6 reps through 118 of the 173 total score repetitions. Reps only count when those cheeseburgers are being held alive. Bryn Shrub and Leah Dean working on their set of 42, and they will be done. They will return for their third.
They absolutely crushed that third set of toes to bar. Oxted has been getting ahead of him on the rig, where 1855 made up ground on the sled, but on this third round, 1855 absolutely pushed the pace and got well ahead of Oxted.
1855 will start their third of 4 pulls. Eichstätt is working their way back to the sled for their third pull, but 1855 looking to...
That's a great pull.
1855 going up, broken. Eichstätt needs to do some work here to catch up.
Now you're gonna have to push the pace more than you want with just 1 minute 20 seconds left in this heat. You're not gonna get back to the sled. So you're gonna get a break after this. This is 2 back-to-back events, and we have something looming later in the evening that's not gonna involve pulling. So let's just send it here without ripping our hands. Let me put that as another disclaimer. If there's a rule, a golden rule in CrossFit events is do not rip on day 1, and in your gym it's do not rip on a Monday. Those are the rules.
If you rip on day 1, you're gonna have a bad time. 1855 there, still in the lead. Less than a minute to go before we hit the 12-minute time cap of this event, so we have yet to see a team complete either one of these back-to-back challenges. Blue City came the closest in event 2. At 18:55, if they can keep this pace, they will come the closest in event number 3.
This is going to be your last opportunity up here on the rig. Just try to hang on as long as you can until you can't do any more reps.
15 seconds. Let's talk about the final 10
Shrug and Dean just trying to get in every rep they can before that 12-minute time cap hits. 50 and counting. And that will be it. The 18:55 gets the closest to completing event number 3 here in the opening heat, the first of 4 heats, and it was Blue City Athletics who had the top score in heat number 1 for event number 2.
And this is just a different type of fatigue than we had earlier this morning with that long aerobic endeavor in the leg. So this big block that's so heavy, we said over 1,000 pounds on the push, and there's lots of pushing involved. This Ocean State Blue, or Ocean City CrossFit, sorry. They got ahead early, and we're going back and forth with Kona a little bit in that first set of 25, but once it got to the second portion, able to hold on. Just ahead, to get 1 rep better in event 2 over CrossFit Oxted.
Kona CrossFit comes in 3rd, as no team in that opening heat was able to complete the event, and we move on immediately to event number 3, and it was the same story, although it was 18:55 this time. That put up the best score.
Yeah, but Oxted was in the mix with 18:55 as well, but it's nice to see the bounce back for 18:55, so the no team finished event number 2 and run across the field to reset. We saw a lot of changing of the pace between Oxted and 18:55. That second round, 18:55, was actually behind Oxted, but that third round is where they made their move. Fast on the toes to bar, faster on the third pull, and it was enough at the end to hold on for the win of the heat. Yet still no team finished either event and underneath that 12-minute count.
18:55, they were 20 reps short, 11 reps ahead of Oxted. Blue City CrossFit after their heat win, and they finished 3rd in heat number 1. Heat number 2 coming up next in these back-to-back challenges. Stay with us here in Madison, Wisconsin. competition here at the 2021 Noble CrossFit Games as we have moved from Lake Monona inside the North Park of the Alliant Energy Center in Madison, Wisconsin. Thank you so much for being with us today, everybody. I'm Sean Woodland with Chase Ingram. Mike Arsenault is down on the field. Back-to-back challenges here for events 2 and 3. And Big Bob is back.
Big Bob is back in a big way because we have a lot of pushing and pulling to do with the Big Bob. It's super heavy and it only gets heavier on the event 3 portion, but a lot of synchronized work and holding and communication is going to go into this one.
9 teams in this second of 4 heats. No team has been able to complete either event of these back-to-back tests. Lane 5 Lone Star CrossFit, 21st overall after event number 1.
Lone Star Cross out of San Antonio, Texas. Funny, most teams have a worm, but not many people have a sled. So they did the most country thing you could do is they got out the old F-150 and started pushing and pulling that thing around in the back parking lot to get ready for this event.
Invictus, they are in lane number 3. They're 25th overall, and this is a team that has some pedigree behind them.
12+ years of CrossFit competition experience here at the CrossFit Games. One of the most heralded and coveted affiliates and teams in the sport of CrossFit.
Second of 4 heats in event number 2 is underway. We opened with a 1,107-pound bob push down the field.
168 feet of just life-sucking, acid-burning into the quads and core. And the only thing this is really going to do other than get you tired, it's going to elevate your heart